Okay, real dealers, we are about to go live in the next 60 seconds. So stay tuned. We'll be going live in approximately 1 minute. I want to thank each and every one of you for being on the broadcast this morning. I know it's a beautiful, crisp day here in the DMV, and I just appreciate you guys for being here. So, in about 30 seconds, we'll be going live with this April the 29th Q&A session. Get your real estate questions answered. So stay tuned, get those questions ready to go, and I am ready for you today. I think I know we are now live on all social media platforms. That includes Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and Twitch. Hey, this is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, and welcome to this broadcast. I love doing these line sessions, or should I say these live sessions. You guys really be challenging me with some of these questions you be getting out there. There's some fantastic questions, and this is an opportunity to really get up and get those questions answered that maybe you weren't able to get answered because of whatever you had going on in the past few days or the past weekend and so on. So I'm here for you guys today, 100% yours for the next 60 minutes. But as usual, I want to hear and find out from you guys. Can you hear me? I want a sound check before we get started because you know how those audio gremlins work. So if you can hear me, give me a comment. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. I see we have Joe Bass on Instagram already on the broadcast. Ern is already on the broadcast. Ken is already on the broadcast. Thank you. I'm glad you guys can hear me loud and clear. We are going to be covering today all of your REI questions live in advance. So thank you, HJ, for being on the broadcast. I'm so glad you can hear me, my friend. Now, let's start off with a couple of, I like to say, 30 seconds public service announcements. First thing first, I want you guys to know that we have the Real Meals and Deals networking event coming up this Wednesday's May the 1st, Real Meals and Deals at Ida B Cafe, or should I say Ida B Restaurant in downtown Baltimore, which is going to be at 235 Holiday Street. Jason, welcome to the broadcast. Now, at Ida B, we're going to have a special guru that's going to be talking. Oh, first of all, I know you guys are probably wondering, what the heck is a guru? Well, let me tell you what I call a guru. A guru is someone that not only knows the business of real estate investing, they're actually doing the business of real estate investing, and they can actually teach the business of real estate investing. Minion, thanks for listening in on the actual while you're working out, my friend. I appreciate it. So that's what we got in store for you on Wednesday. Head on over to therealdealmeetup.com where you'll be able to RSVP. We only have about 50 seats for the Ida B Real Meals and Deals event we're having on Wednesday. And we're going to have a special guru that's going to be talking about how to invest in assisted living facilities. So if you ever wanted to know about how to invest in assisted living facilities, tune in on Wednesday at Ida B Table, located at 235 Holiday Street. My beautiful wife, Tammy, welcome to the broadcast, darling. I appreciate you being on this broadcast. Now, also, don't forget, time is running out to take advantage of the early bird specials for the Real Deal Meetup Cruise. My wife, Tammy, who actually is the travel agent for the cruise, has gotten an extension so that you can still take advantage of the $75 early bird special. Now, we're going to be leaving out of the Port of Miami on January the 19th to the 25th, and we'll be leaving going to 3 fantastic island port of calls. You're going to have an opportunity to network. We're going to have individuals on the cruise talking about all kinds of strategies from commercial investing. We're going to be talking about wholesaling, rehabbing, nonprofits, all of these educational seminars on the cruise. Plus, you have the opportunity to head to 3 fantastic port of calls. I think we're going to be going to Jamaica. We're going to be going to the Cayman Islands, and we're going to also be going to Cozumel. So you'll have all these different beautiful port of calls to come to, as well as all the different events that we're going to have in store for you. Lisa, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity. So head on over to realdealmeetupcruise.com. That's realdealmeetupcruise.com to sign up for your cabin today. Cabin's only starting off at $75. Lisa, I would love to see you on that cruise. I know you're a very busy lady, so my wife and I would love to see you on there. I hope you can make it. Hey guys, if you're hearing me loud and clear, hit me some hearts, give me some likes. Let me know that you are out there, you are ready with those questions. I got a fantastic bonus for you guys today that I'm going to make in them probably about a minute or so. I'm going to tell you all about the different bonuses I have for you. Thank you, my beautiful wife. Handsome mad scientist. I love it, girl. Thank you. Now, as far as what I got in store for you, it's this. Get closer. I want you to get closer. You know, this past weekend, we had our Real Deal Meetup event. Now, I talked about exactly how to bookmark your real estate business for flips, houses, contracts, and tenants. Now, this was a full 2-hour presentation, and I'm going to give each and every one of you who just asked for it. While you're in the comment section, just ask Charles, hey, I would like a copy of the videos. I'm going to give you guys an actual copy of the video from this past weekend Real Deal Meetup event. All you have to do, like I mentioned, is just leave a comment below asking for a copy. Whether you're on Periscope, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you leave a comment and I will make sure you will get your hands on my videos. I will make sure it, guarantee it. So, if you have any questions, now is the time to post them right in the comment section below. Henry, welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can within the next 60 minutes. I got a sheet of people who over the weekend have sent me questions in by way of my email. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Lisa Jeffrey, welcome to the broadcast. Rain Forever, welcome to the broadcast. I see, Rain, you're going to get a copy of that video as soon as it comes out. It should be available for you guys in the next 24 to 48 hours. So, Rain, I will make sure you get a copy of that video from this past weekend's Real Deal Meetup event. Lisa, I will make sure you get a copy of the video as well. Thank you for leaving those comments. And remember, I love those questions. Put them out there. I want to hear what's on your mind. So let's get this party started. First question comes from Rodney. Do you think that the real estate market is going to crash? And if so, when? Actually, Rodney, that's a good question. A lot of people have been predicting that we're going to be really in a whole different environment soon when it comes to real estate investing. I even had or read somewhere, I think it was the wealthiest guy in the world, one of the wealthiest guys in the world, talking about that it's going to be just like or almost as worse as 2008. Now, do I think that that's going to be the case? No, not really, but I'm not the wealthiest guy in the world either. So, but my opinion, yes, the market will change. There will be a situation coming up soon. How soon? I'm thinking in the next 12 to 18 months, money's going to get tight. Interest rates are going to be a little bit higher, and the ability to wholesale and rehab and flip is going to get tougher. So what does that mean for you, the investor? Well, if you're a transaction engineer, it don't mean anything. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's simple. What I mean by that is that you will be able to take that deal that you would normally look at as a wholesale deal and a rehab deal. You'll be able to take that deal and flip it, just like anybody else out there who's not doing it right now. That's what I call being a transaction engineer. So instead of worrying about flipping the deal, what you're going to do is do owner structured financing. You're going to do tenant placement. You're going to do guaranteed rent. You're going to do link options. So for the investor that have all these different options in their toolkit, you won't have a problem when the market change. You will be able to weather the storm. And so, like I said earlier, I don't think the market is going to get to the point like it was in 2008. I just don't think that. But I do think that it's going to be a tightening of the purse. And with that tightening of the purse, you have to be more creative in order to find deals. Great question. Great question, my friend. Also, let's see who else we got on the broadcast. We got Growing Entrepreneur 1 on the broadcast. If you guys want a copy of my presentation video that I did over the weekend, don't forget in the comment section below, just say, hey, I want a copy, and I'll make sure you get a copy of that video. Also, don't forget to leave your questions for this broadcast. This is a Q&A session. I'm going to get all of your questions answered today. We have 1 hour. Actually, we have a total of 50 minutes remaining. Annie, welcome to the broadcast. Question number 2 comes from Lena. How do you buy real estate with no money or credit? That sounds like a Carlton Sheets question. That was that was actually how I got started in real estate 30 plus years ago. Now, you have to understand that the concept of buying properties with little or no money is a concept that has been around for years. And I do mean for years. Now, keep this in mind, that if you don't have money, you're substituting something for that money, meaning time, or you're going to be using someone else's money, such as a private lender to lend you money to do the transactions and so on. So you can do real estate with no money. Absolutely you can. There are several strategies that require very little money to get done. For example, tenant placement is a great strategy that requires hardly any money at all other than money for your gas and so on. You can also do rent to owns. You can also do link optioning. These strategies don't require hardly any money at all, but you would require some money when we're talking about marketing and so on. Beto, welcome to the broadcast, my friend. So keep that in mind, that the classic approach of buying real estate with zero or little money out of your pocket is true, and it can be done. But there's going to be a situation where you're going to need money at some point in time. And that money doesn't have to be your own. It could be someone else's money. Do you need credit? Absolutely not. I've done hundreds of deals in this business and in real estate investing for over 30 years. And I can count on my hand the amount of deals where I actually went to a bank for a loan. And I'm talking about after hundreds of transactions. There's only a handful, 4 or 5 deals where I actually had to go to a bank for a loan to do the deal. So no, you do not need credit to do this business. You just need to have the wherewithal and the ability to get things going. Hey, Leslie, thank you, my friend. I'm glad you like the setup. I'm glad you like the video. Hey, Leslie is my video guy. So if you guys see him on Facebook, holla at him. He's my guy that does all of my videos for me. This guy is fantastic behind a camera. Big ups to Leslie Hendricks. Next question comes from Michelle. What's the best way to do buy and hold investing? Now, I love that question. Keep those questions coming, guys. The best way to do buy and hold investing, in my opinion, is the classic way. So what do I call the classic way? The classic way is when you buy a property for 65 cents, 70 cents on a dollar or less. When I say buy, it doesn't necessarily mean go to a bank, although you could. I mean, buy it from a hard money lender, or you find bank financing, have the way you want to do it. Buy a property for 65 cents, 70 cents on the dollar. Make sure all the work that you're being done is totally at that 65 cents, 70 cents on the dollar. Everything needs to be done at that 65 cents, 70 cents on the dollar. In other words, 70% after repair value. So if you get into the 70% of the after repair value on fix up, purchase, and so on, now you're able to refinance that property and get all your money out. That's right. The key is getting in and getting out with zero to little money out of your pocket. I had one of my mastermind students, Norman, who've practiced this strategy multiple times. He's done it a couple times so far. And each of those times, he's been in the property at 65, 70 cents on the dollar or less. He refinanced the property, and then he actually took and got all of his money back. And as a matter of fact, on one of the deals, he was able to put about $10,000 in his pocket and still got all of his money back, as well as, and here's the key, having cash flow and equity. Now, a lot of times in buying and holding, you're going to have one or the other. You may have cash flow and no equity, or you may have equity and very little cash flow. But if you do it the way I just broke it down, that way you're insured to have cash flow and equity. And that, my friend, is the key to being a buy and hold investor. KJ asks, what are the steps in implementing the transaction engineer strategy? Great question. For those who don't know, what I like to teach my mastermind students and my consulting clients is not to be a real estate investor, not to be that one-trick pony. I want my people to be what I call a transaction engineer. Now, what is a transaction engineer? Simply put, a transaction engineer is someone that can make money on any kind of deal. There's an exit where money can be made on that deal. That's what I teach my mastermind students. That's what I do and practice every day of the week for the last 25 years. So, being a transaction engineer is nothing more than having multiple strategies underneath your belt and or multiple solutions to those strategies under your belt. Now, here's what I mean. As I mentioned before, I've been in this business now for over 30 years. So I've learned a lot of things, a lot of marketing strategies, a lot of strategies such as wholesaling, rehabbing, buying and holding, and so on. So I've considered myself, I don't want to say a master of them all, but someone that can definitely maneuver himself through each and every one of those strategies. That, my friend, is what I call a transaction engineer. So when a deal comes across my table, I can look at that deal and say, wholesale hat, rehab hat, buy and hold hat, tenant placement hat, guaranteed rent hat, rent to own hat, owner structure financing hat, link option hat. Which one of these hats can I make a profit on this deal? And then that's the exit strategy that I choose to do on the deal. However, it doesn't require you to have 25 years worth of knowledge to be a transaction engineer, because you don't have to master all of those strategies. Here's the key. I believe in you mastering a strategy and then add another tool to that toolkit. However, in between that, at least have the resources where you can reach out to individuals who are doing those other things. You know individuals who are doing wholesaling. You know individuals who are doing rehabbing. You know individuals who are doing tenant placement, owner structure financing, guaranteed rent, rent to own, link option. And then you make joint venture agreements with those individuals, so when those deals come across your desk that you are already familiar with, such as wholesaling, and it doesn't fit the wholesaling key, you send that deal over to those other joint venture partners and you make money on them. So no, you don't have to master all these strategies right away. You just have to know where you can turn them over to what the actual strategy looks like when you're talking to a seller, how to exit out of that conversation and say, this is a wholesale deal, this is a rehab deal, buy and hold, etc., etc., etc. And then push that deal over to that other person and make a profit on it. That, my friend, is what I call being a transaction engineer. KJ, I hope that answers your question. Now, remember, guys, there's a lot of you guys that are on the broadcast and gals that are on the broadcast. I want to remind you guys, if you want a copy of the video from the presentation I did this past weekend called Bookmark Your Real Estate Business to Flip Houses, Contracts, and Tenants, all you got to do is leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will get you a copy of that video. Just leave a comment below letting me know that you want a copy of the video, and I'll make sure you get it. Great question, KJ. Now, let's see. Katrina asks, can you refer a hard money lender that works with new investors? Absolutely. Pimlico Funding. And after the broadcast, I will text in the actual telephone number for Aaron at Pimlico Funding. That's a great company that we work with. My mastermind students work with Pimlico Funding as well. So with Pimlico Funding, does all the actual loans for our business. So there's great opportunity that they have no issues at all working with a new investor. The key is the deal. So I will get you the telephone number for Pimlico Funding. I will type it in the comment section as soon as we get off the broadcast, Katrina. I hope that helps. Let me head on over to Instagram and see who has a comment over there. Good morning. My name is Lenny. Hopefully all is well. I would like a copy of the video. Lenny, you're going to get a copy of the video. No problem at all. Let's see. Barry asks, I picked up the property recently in Baltimore City. I'm thinking about doing Section 8. Do you find Section 8 tenants damage the property more than a regular tenant? That is a great question, Barry. As a matter of fact, that is one of the actual myths. I'm going to say it again. That is a false myth that has been perpetuated through this industry for years. And that myth is this: Section 8 tenants will mess your property up more than regular market rate tenants. Absolutely not. That is
the truth.
The truth. So, now, here's what I mean by that. Any tenant can mess up your property. And the reason why any tenant can mess up your property is because you as a landlord is not monitoring that property. There's a proper way to control your property and make sure it stays in the as is or the great condition that you had it in when that person moved in that property. So regardless if it's a Section 8 tenant or a market rate tenant or some other type of subsidized housing tenant, if you as the landlord is doing what you're supposed to do, and what I mean by what you're supposed to do, one, you should be checking any and all tenants' references when they get ready to apply for your property. You should be doing income verification. You should be going income to debt ratio. You should be doing actual employment verification. You should be doing child sex offender check. You should be doing credit check. You should be doing all these things. Most importantly, you should be visiting the current residence that the person is living in right now. And last but not least, you should also, I repeat, I'm going to get close on this one. You should also set up quarterly inspections of your property after the tenant moves in. The biggest reason why properties get destroyed is because of deferred maintenance issues. I'm going to say it again. It's because of deferred maintenance issues. And because of those deferred maintenance issues, you have issues where the property is in disrepair. repair when the lease is ready to be renewed. So you as the investor should be in that situation each and every quarter in that property, making sure that that property stays in great condition. That should be a part of your lease. It has to be in your actual lease. If you do that, I promise you, your property will stay in good condition. That's the key, my friend. Thank you for that question. It was a fantastic question. Let's see what other questions we got. We got some questions on Facebook. Ernie joined. Thank you, Ernie, for being on the broadcast. Jason, again, thank you for being on the broadcast. Patrick, thank you for being on the broadcast. Dwayne McCall, thank you for being on the broadcast. Remember, guys, if you want a free copy of the video that I did this weekend from this past Real Deal meetup event at the BWI Hilton, be sure to head on over, right? Put a comment in the comment section below, and I will make sure you get a copy of that video where I talked about how you can bookmark your real estate investing business for success. Who else do we have on the broadcast right now? Robert, thank you for the broadcast. Al, thank you for being on the broadcast. Heart it up, like it up. If you can hear me loud and clear, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you're feeling today. Annie, how are you feeling today? I want to know and hear from you, my people who are out there today. We have about, Facebook is going crazy. YouTube is going crazy. Instagram is going crazy. Everywhere is going crazy, including Periscope. Let's get back to some more questions. Let's see if we have anything. Minion asks, besides that, a myth. Thank you, Minion. I agree, it is a myth. No problem at all. Okay. Let's see. Next question comes from Brittany. When are you coming back to Florida to speak? Oh, thank you, Brittany. I have not been to Florida probably in about a good 3 months. My wife and I was there. We had an opportunity to speak at the Podfest 2019, and we didn't speak there. However, my wife and I do plan on coming to Florida to do a presentation soon. Exactly when, I don't know. I've gotten a couple invites from Tampa Bay, REI, and so on in order to come down there to speak. So I will be coming to Florida soon. We just haven't worked out the dates. So keep that in mind. I will let you know as soon as we decide that we're going to come. Thank you. Let's see. Brian asks, can you talk about how you do cold calling? How do we do cold calling? In my company, I have a dedicated person that actually does all of my cold calling for me. As a matter of fact, she's from the Philippines, and she's calling for us on average between 8 and 10,000 phone calls per month, cold calling. And we use the system called Mojo Dollar. That's exactly what we're using right now for all of our cold calling. So you may ask, okay, Charles, how does that work? How much it costs and so on? Well, for the VA that we're using to do the cold calling, the young lady that we're using, her name is Queenie, and we're paying her $5 an hour. She works for us 20 hours a week. The system that I use is called Mojo Dollar. Now, Mojo Dollar can dial as little as 100 to 300 calls per hour. I'm going to repeat that again. It can dial 100 to 300 people per hour. That's how we're able to do cold calling to the level of 8 to 10,000 per month as far as individuals that we're calling. So, now, of course, you have to have some of the support for your cold calling system. You have to have scripts, because if you're going to bring somebody in that's not yourself that's going to do the cold calling, you need to have the script that you want the person to say when they're on the phone. And we had actually 5 different scripts. I'm going to repeat that again. We have a total of 5 different scripts.
Damn!
And those scripts range from absentee owner, expired listing, probate, and cold calling for Craigslist scraping, and so on. Now, I've also created training videos for my VA to watch that will show them, exactly how to properly go through the actual script and what's the reason why we ask the questions that we ask in the script. So that's my system. I love using Mojo Dollar. The actual marketing strategies that we actually do cold calling for involves any property that we find that has a telephone number. That's what we're using our cold calling systems with. So absentee owners, we're scraping them. We're actually skip tracing them for phone numbers. Probate, phone numbers. Driving for dollars, if we can't find the individual, we're going to find a fellow phone number for those individuals. Code enforcement violations. Anyone that we are marketing to, we're going to throw out there and try to get a telephone number and then stick that person in my cold calling system. That's exactly what we're doing. Now, let's see what else we got going on. Next question came from Barry. Follow-up question based on what you just said. It sounds like you have a very detailed leases with your tenants. Is there any way for me to get a copy to work from? Absolutely. I can send you a copy of the lease that we use. However, all I mentioned so far is that our lease has the actual inspection clause where we can go in the property and quarterly inspections of the property. That's just a contingency that anyone can stick in the lease. So yes, Barry, after the broadcast, I will get you a copy of the lease that we use, but it's only good for Maryland. I can't promise you that it's going to be legal for all the other states and cities and so on. But this is the lease that we use in Maryland. Absolutely, I'll send it to you. Beto, how is your intro speech when you cold call a probate lead? Great question, Beto. My introduction that I usually make, or should I say that my acquisition agent makes when they're actually speaking to somebody that's going through probate, we start off with understanding the fact that we're going to give them our condolences for their most recent person who just passed in their family. So we start off by giving our condolences. And we want to let them know that we're able to help them through the situation they have with the house that's in that they have issue with, or the house that is now in the estate that they have control over. If there's anything that we can do to help them, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Here's my telephone number. We don't do a hard push or a hard sell with individuals that are in probate. That's the actual script that we're saying right there. And based on their response, yes, I have a house that I would like to sell. Then we got a survey of questions that we go through that's part of the script and so on. So Betro, I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's see who we got on Facebook with some questions. Let's see. Katrina, can you refer a hard money? We answered that one already. Minion, I already gave that one out. Patrick wants a copy. You will get a copy of the video. It'll be available in the next couple of days. Ernie says, what are your opinions on real estate, e.g. next door? What your opinions of organic real estate next door? Ernie, be a little bit more detailed. I'm not sure I understand the question about organic real estate next door. Pastor Al, are you planning a 6-figure weekend training again? Absolutely, Pastor Al. We will be doing another 6-figure training weekend soon. Charles, I would like a copy, if possible, of the lease. That's from Patrick Watkins. Patrick, I will get you a copy of that lease as well. No problem at all. Let's go back to some more questions. I think the next question comes from Karen. What is the best service you like for skip tracing? Kern wants some real detailed information. Great question, Kern. Hey guys, if you are liking what you hear, hit me up with some likes. Let me see some hearts. Let me see some love now. Come on now. I'd rather like to see some love. Show me some likes. Show me some hearts. I got some more questions for you, some more answers for you, and I got some more bonuses for you. So like it up, heart it up. Let me see what you out there doing. So, Karen asks, Charles, what is the best service you like for skip tracing? And I'll tell you, there's a couple of them out there. A good one is REI Skip. Very good one. Good one. Another good one is TLO. As a matter of fact, TLO is my favorite service out there. I also like TLO XP, which is a great service that we use. As a matter of fact, one of the bonuses I gave away this weekend at the Real Deal Meetup event was the bonus where I told people how they could get TLO XP. Somebody has access to TLO XP, how they could get that 1,000 skip traces done for $100. Now, let me tell you how powerful that is. I'm going to tell you exactly how powerful that is to get 1,000 skip traces done for $100 using TLO XP. TLO XP is one of the services that detectives use to find people. So you're getting some damn good data with TLO XP. Are you ready for the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
I don't think you are. You don't have to spend all that money out there for all these different skip tracing companies, all this crap that's coming out there. 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, $2 a skip trace. You don't have to do that. For just being on this broadcast. And also for coming to my meeting this past weekend, I will send you my resource for skip tracing if all you do is just in the comment section below say, Charles, big bald head man, give me your skip tracing resource. Send me that person who pulled your skip tracing for you that you've used in the past. Give me that person. And I'll send you the link to that person who actually does the pulling for skip tracing for some of my students, myself and I. TLO XP. Now you got it. Okay, what other questions do we have? I heard about that. My member Minion, how attach your rear. Thank you, Minion. I appreciate for sending it out to Leslie. Let's see. We got another question that came from Chris. How do you analyze rental units? Well, there's a couple ways in which you can analyze a rental unit. Shout out to all you guys that are still on the broadcast. We are almost at the 35-minute mark. We got another 20 minutes to go. But thank you guys for being on the broadcast. After this broadcast, I'm actually going to be doing a walkthrough of a walkthrough of a rehab project in 21207 that's ready to go. That's actually on the market right now. We're doing a walkthrough of the project. All the work is done and all that good stuff. So the question is, how do you analyze rental units? Well, the best way that I know how to analyze rental units is what I like to call the income approach and the expense approach. So in other words, what you're doing is you're taking all the income that comes in for that year. And all the income that comes in, you're dividing the income, or should I say you're subtracting the income, and you're making a monthly payment. So in other words, if it's $10,000, $12,000 income coming in that year, the actual monthly amount of that is $1,000 per month. Then you're going to subtract your monthly expenses from that $1,000 a month income. And then last but not least, you can subtract the actual profit that you want to make. I want to make $250 to $350 per door. Now, once you do those subtractions, the dollar amount that is left over is the dollar amount that the property can support for a mortgage. And that, my friend, is how much the rental property is worth. So, for example, if you subtract the expenses from the actual income that's coming in, and the dollar amount is $687 left over. That means that house can only support a $687, or that rental property or that 4-unit can only support a $687 mortgage payment. So you go to your actual mortgage amortization table and find out exactly what is that $687 dollar amount that it can support. And let's say that number is $147,000. So that means if it can only support a $687, doesn't it make sense that the property value is only 140 something thousand if that's the mortgage balance that it can support? Or should I say the mortgage payment that it can support? That's how we analyze rental properties. We do it by the income and expense approach. Great question. Thank you very much. And that question came from Chris. Ron asks, how do you stream on all these places at the same time? Ron, the way we're doing these streams is we use a system called Restream. And Restream allows us to actually aggregate our streams to about 30 different networks at the same time. That's what we're using. We're using a web-based, cloud-based program called Restream. Ern asks, Ern, you crazy. Charles, where can I get a shirt like that at? Ern, shirt actually was purchased by my wife. I love this shirt. I got 2 different colors. I got it in black, got it in blue. So I love this shirt. My wife purchased it for me from Macy's. I can't believe I'm actually answering this question on the broadcast. But my wife purchased it for me from Macy's, and that's where I got it from. Thank you for the question, Aaron. Tony asks, let's see. How do you find it that real estate properties in Maryland probate? Do you send someone to the courthouse or do you purchase documents online? Great question, Tanya. Tanya, I believe in getting my data from the courthouse. And the reason why, because it's going to be the most fresh data. Not to mention, I like the fact that most of the time, when you're getting it at the courthouse, you're getting the information to the point where you know that it's going to have a house in the estate because you're able to check that out at the courthouse. A lot of services that sell you leads, I'm going to tell you this, a lot of services that sell you leads can't sell you a lead to tell you that there's real estate in the actual estate. So make sure if you're going to buy a service that somebody is selling you leads, that service is providing you leads with real estate in the estate. Regina Beto, thank you for being on YouTube, following us. Barry, thank you for being on YouTube, my friend. So that's your key. The other aspect that I use is when I'm searching for the actual probate files, I'm only going after files that have been open for at least 90 days. And then I'm searching no more than 18 months back. Or should I say 18 to 24 months back, cases that are still open. So that's my criteria. 90 days, 24 months back at the most. Real estate must be in the actual estate. And I'm going to be going after those individuals by way of direct mail and or cold calling as well. I'm usually doing probate. I'm usually doing a direct mail campaign at least 4 times a year, every quarter. And I'm going to also follow up with, of course, cold calling and also a ringless voice message drop. So that's the way, Tanya, that we are doing probate. I hope that helps. Let's see what else we got. Charles, send me that. Minion. Minion says, I'm trying to figure out how to get them at the courthouse in South Carolina, Charleston. It's closed states now, and when I want the courthouse in Charleston, I cannot get them at the courthouse. Doesn't help. I understand some states that data is closed, which means it's private, and you as a public tax-paying person can't have access to public information. That is a shame. What are you there doing with our tax dollars if we can't have access to this public information? Well, my suggestion for you then, Minion, is to see, is there any services out there, of course it would be paid services, that would provide that data for you for a cost. One of the services that I heard is something called All That Leads, ATL. Now, they provide probate leads, and they even say they provide probate leads where there's real estate in the estate. So check and see if they're doing anything in South Carolina. The company is called All That Leads, or ATL. Not to be mistaken with Atlanta. Okay, let's see what else we got. Keisha asks, do you think an estate property going through foreclosure will have more scrutiny from lawyers if I try to do a subject to deal? Great detailed question, Keisha. Now, I only like doing subject to deals on properties that I'm going to get in and out real quick. Normally it's within 3 to 6 months. That's the reason why I would only do a subject to deal. I'm not holding subject to long term, because anything could attach to that property that is based on what the owner has going on in their business, their life. So I'm not going to do a long term subject to. Don't believe in it. Definitely don't recommend you doing it. So with that being said, what I do recommend is taking control of the property by way of another way. By the fact that the property is in foreclosure, depending on where you're at, you have to be very careful. Because in Maryland, we have such a thing called the actual Protection of Homeowner and Foreclosure Act. Now, the thing about that law is that it won't allow us as investors to buy real estate from the homeowner if the property is over 60 days late on their mortgage. Now, most other states, you don't have to worry about that. But in Maryland, that's the law of the land. As a matter of fact, in Maryland, if that person lives in the property and you try to buy it from that person after 60 days and they're in foreclosure, you could go to jail. I kid you not. So, what does the law state? And these are the main particulars. It's this. You as the investor, you're able to go after that property in Maryland that's in foreclosure, that's past 60 days late on their mortgage, if these circumstances are in place. 1, the property is vacant. 2, the property is not the primary residence. 3, the property is an investment property. So underneath of those circumstances, you can go after those properties all day long.
Can you dig it?
However, if the property is occupied by the homeowner who's in foreclosure and that property is over 60 days late on their mortgage balance, meaning the property is in foreclosure and the payment is over 60 days late, then you, my friend, will be going in violation if you buy that property from that homeowner. You could go to jail. And Brother Charles don't look good in pinstripes. So stay away from those properties underneath that circumstance. Otherwise, you can go after them all day long. If they are living in the property, you can still buy it, but the person has to be represented by a real estate agent. That's when you can go after that property. You have to let the homeowner know that they have to get involved, get a real estate agent or an attorney, and then you can buy the property from them if they're living in the property and it's 60 days behind on their mortgage. So Keisha, that's my answer to your question. If the property you plan on going to after is in foreclosure, be careful if it's in Maryland. Other states, you probably don't have that issue to deal with. I would not do a subject to for that type of transaction. I would do some other type of creative way, such as owner-structured financing, master leasing the property, something like that, as opposed to a sub to hold for long term. Do not hold subject tos for long term. Now, the first part of your question is, if estate properties is going through a lawyer, I then will contact the lawyer and see if they're interested in my services to help them with the property that's going through the estate. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it helps. Minion says, ha 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 ha. Patrick Washington, Charlotte and Minion, thank you. They're great to buy. Are they experienced? But one deal pays, so I should just suck it up. Minion, I agree. The list could be expensive. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they make you pay for 3 months in advance, which is about $300-400. But just like you just said, one deal, one probate deal will pay for that whole list. I agree with you. Milton, welcome to the broadcast. Leslie, welcome again. With subject 2, do we need to establish insurance to cover ourselves? You need to be added to the insurance. That way it covers you. So you need to be added as a payee, additional payee on the insurance policy, the current insurance policy. That's what I recommend, Leslie. I'm in PA. Is it in a state the person... it is in a state the person died. Okay. I'm in PA. It's in a state the person died. I'm still trying to understand the question. Keisha, explain the question a little bit more. Pastor Al asks, what tools do you recommend to stay organized? Oh, Pastor Al, that is, once again, man, you guys are giving me some great questions. You are crushing it with the questions. Special announcement. 10 minutes remaining, guys. There's only 10 minutes remaining. If you want to get your hands on the video presentation that I did this past weekend at the Real Deal Meetup on how to bookmark your real estate investing business, I cover a lot of never before taught stuff in this actual video. You need to leave your comment below that you want actual access to the videos. So leave the comment below that you want access to the videos, and I will make sure you get the video from this past weekend in a couple of days. My team right now is doing the last minute changes on it. We're actually doing final editing on them, and we'll have the videos ready for you guys to give to you in the next couple of days, no later than Wednesday for sure. So going back to the question that Pastor Al says, which tools do you recommend to stay organized? My main tool that I use in my business for all of our lead generation and organizing our leads and so on is Podio. That's the contact relationship management system I use in my business to maintain and manage all of our deals that we're doing, the contacts that we're making in 6 different markets. So I highly recommend Podio to you, Pastor Al, as the actual tool to use for organizing your business. Beto, thank you for the love, the hearts, the comments. I appreciate it. Instagram, thank you very much. We have MD Home Free on Instagram. Thank you for being there. I appreciate you guys. We got about 7 minutes to go. I want to remind you, we do have the Real Meals and Deals meeting that's coming up on Wednesday, May the 1st at Ida B Table. So head on over to therealdealmeetup.com to get your reservations. We're going to be talking about, I have a special Duru interview with a young lady who is crushing it with assisted livings, and we only have 50 seats for our first Wednesday of the month meeting we call the Real Meals and Deals at Ida B Table. So head on over to therealdealmeetup.com. That's therealdealmeetup.com so you can get access to that free meeting we're going to be doing on Wednesday evening from 6:30 till 9 o'clock, live and in person. Myself, Corey Brown, and my beautiful wife, Tammy Blair, will be there in the... You like the way I said that? I said Tammy Blair will be there. I should have been a rapper. No, let me get back. Okay, let's see. Do we have any room for 2? We got a couple more minutes left. Malik is finally on the broadcast, my brother, my mastermind student from New Jersey who is crushing it. What's going on, Malik? Thank you for tuning in on the broadcast, my friend. Let's see who else. Any other questions out there that I have not covered? I'm on Facebook now and scrolling down. I think, Keisha, we covered everything there. Patrice, are you familiar with water lead list? And exactly how do I ask for one in Charleston, South Carolina? Actually, Patrice, I've never heard of a water lead list. Please educate me. I have not heard of that. Greg, welcome to the broadcast, my friend. Do you guys take the meet up on the road? I would love to take the meet up on the road, in Charlotte, South Carolina. Patrice, give me a location. My wife and we will travel and give you guys some good stuff when we get there. So definitely, we would love to take the meetup on the road. I'm often speaking in other cities and other states. I do get invited to speak. A lot of times I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm in New York, I'm in Florida. I've been invited to speak in California. I've been invited to speak in Atlanta. I have not been to South Carolina yet, so I would love to get to South Carolina and take the Real Deal meetup on the road. As a matter of fact, dun, 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 we are about to make, that's my actual matter of fact announcement horn, guys. Forgive me for doing that. We are about to start another Real Deal meetup in Columbia. Stay tuned. Man, we are expanding out of our bridges. So stay tuned for the big announcement for the Real Deal meetup in Columbia. Coming soon. Last time. If you want to get your hands on my video presentation in the comment section below, leave a comment. Tell me you want a copy of it, and I will get it to you. Guys, girls, we have a total of 4 minutes to go. I am so glad you guys spent this time with me today. After this broadcast, I have a walkthrough of a rehab project in 21207 zip code, which I'm going to be making a video for. I'm going to show you guys about that project coming up real soon. So if there are not any more questions, did I leave any questions out? I want to get some final hearts, some final love from Tony, from Minion. Heart it up. Keisha, heart it up if you want some more of these broadcasts. Al, Pastor Al, heart it up. Leslie, heart it up. Dwayne, Patrick, all you guys, heart it up. Tanya, heart it up. Greg, heart it up. I want some love from you guys so that I will continue to give you this good stuff from the mind of the mad scientist. Last but not least, thank you for spending this hour with me today. I feel so blessed. My family is blessed. My wife is blessed. And thank you for your support over the years and years. I've been in this business for 30 years. The meetup has been going on for 9 years. And now we are the second largest real estate investing meetup in the nation. I kid you not. Do a Google search. The second largest real estate investing meetup group in the nation with over 8,000 members. And we would not be here if it wasn't for your support. Thank you all. This is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist. And on behalf of my beautiful wife, Tammy Blair, and I, take care. And we'll see you guys on the next Q&A session.